Hello there, greetings. Once again, this is part 2 of our introduction in our course of anatomical physiology. The topic that we are handling right now, our first topic is basic anatomical terminology. This is part 2. That part 1 where we saw body planes, body sections, we saw the anatomical position. So this is part 2. I present that to you. I'm still Jimbira Fortunate. Part 2 is going to be looking at directional terms and body areas. What are those? What are some of the terms that we use in trying to direct someone? Maybe they are a surgeon or a lab personnel or a nurse. So we want to direct someone to a particular body location where we know we find a particular organ there. Okay, so that particular organ shall use particular terms or a particular term that will help us to direct this individual to that particular location of the body and find there that particular organ that you are locating for a particular purpose. It might be surgery, it might be sample collection. Okay, so this part is going to be introducing you to those directional terms, the different terms that I use, and then the body areas that we have in the human body. To start off with directional terms, to define the directional term, these are kind of words. A term is a word, a descriptive word. These are kind of descriptive words that are used when we are trying to precisely locate a particular body organ, body part, when we are relating it to another body part. So terms used to precisely locate one part of the body relative. So we are relating it to another body part, but we are referring to that particular location. So these terms help us reduce the so many words if you are calling a lengthy explanation. So they help us reduce on those so many words that we may end up expressing and trying to direct someone when intending to locate a particular body part. So we reduce on those so many ones that we should have used. For example, you want to locate uh, the eye. Okay, the eye. I might use the eye in relation to the mouth. You may end up using a lot of words, but you could have used only two terms that will describe the location of the eyes in relation to the mouth. Okay, we are going to see those terms. Which term can we use? We are trying to locate the eyes to direct someone to the eyes, but in relation to the mouth. So you move upwards a little centimeters above the nose, and then you find the eyes. So those words there. So we are going to see some of the terms that help us locate body parts. So we have the first term there, which is superior cephalic or cranial. Usually superior is referring to something towards the head region or area, which we called cranial in our first terms in part 1. So that cranial region is also referred to as the cephalic region. And if you are using a directional term locating something in the cranial region, you are likely to use that the term known as superior. So we are locating the eyes in relation to the mouth. So we can say in the cranial region superior to the mouth. Okay. and then you reduce on the amount of words that you could have used in trying to get the eyes in relation to the mouth. So say the eyes are located in the cranial region superior to the mouth. So above the mouth in the cranial region shall find uh, the eyes. So the other term is the inferior, so away from the head region. We may also call it the caudal. The other term is caudal. So towards the, if it is an animal with a tail, towards the tail, that is the caudal location of a particular body part, or you may use the term inferior, so away from the head, towards the tail. Okay? In our case, towards the feet. As far as we don't have a tail, but towards the feet, that is the inferior. Towards the head, that is the superior. So locate particular uh, body organ that is in relation to the other. So you can locate it towards the tail region by using the term inferior. The other term is the anterior, so that is also known as the ventral or rostral. That is the front view. Okay? So the front side of an organism is also known as the anterior, and then the posterior or dorsal is the back side of that particular organism. And then the superficial, that is towards the surface of something. Uh, so when you're trying to locate a particular body part in relation to another, but it is towards the surface, then the term superficial is welcome for use. The other term is deep, and that term is used to locate or direct a location that is away from the surface, so inside something, away from the surface. The term to use there is the deep term. The other term is the medial, that one is the midline. So usually this one is imaginary. So you imagine the mid part of the particular body organ, and then maybe we want to make a section there. So we may measure and then find out the middle, the midline of that particular part. But usually it is imaginary, and then based on that imagination, get that medial location. So that is the term medial. The other term is lateral. That one is used to describe something that is away from the midline. So something away from the midline, that is lateral view. If you are viewing the body from the left lateral view or the right lateral view, in the sides, in other words, that is the term to use. The other term is intermediate, so between 2 points. For example, we are locating our eyes, we say, in the cranial region, superior to the mouth, intermediate. There are two intermediate, there are two organs located between the balls, the eyeballs. There are two in between. Sorry, we are locating the nose in relation to the eyes. So we say the nose is intermediate between those eyeballs. So that is the term intermediate there, something between 2 points. We use it that way. The ipsilateral term, that one we use it when we are referring to two body parts but located on the same side, so end up using the term ipsilateral. The other term that's describing the opposite sides, that one is called contralateral. So two different body organs located, they might be the same organs but located on opposite sides. For example, the kidneys. Okay? They are contrary to one another in relation to something. So they are on opposite sides. But when you look at the stomach and the pancreas, they are ipsilateral, the other term we have used up there. So for them, they are ipsilateral to that side, which is the left side. So ipsilaterally left stomach and the pancreas. Okay? But if you look at the kidneys, they are contrary to one another. They are on opposite sides. The other term, when you're directing someone to a location, there is the proximal term, and that one is used to describe something that is near the origin. So if we find out that a particular tissue originates from a particular location, then is it, as it has matured, is it still near its origin or far away from its origin? If it is near the origin, then it is proximal. If it is away from the origin, then it is distal. So the proximal bit of it, the example I can take there is our nephron shall find there are tubules which we refer to as a proximal distal convoluted tubule, proximal convoluted tubules. So proximal near the origin. If you are considering the glomerulus to be our point of origin of these tubes, then we have that starting tube that is continuous. So we call that proximal near the origin. Then the other one which is away from the glomerulus, we refer to it as the distal. So something away from the origin, yeah, is distal. So these are some of the directional references that we have been discussing, where we have the caudal. Say the caudal is the back side, then posterior or dorsal is still the back side. Caudal, now this is posterior caudal. Okay, the back side which is posterior, and then caudal towards the tail. So caudal means towards the tail, but in this case it is posterior view. So posterior caudal, the back side of the body, but towards the tail. Okay, the feet and cranial means the head region, and then towards the head we refer to as superior or cranial. Anterior, that is the front view, or you may also refer to it as ventral, so this side. Then this is the front of view, referring to the upper side, which is superior, distal side, which is away from the, or if you are referring, if you are trying to locate this toe, this big toe of the feet in relation to the pelvic region, then, and we are referring the pelvic region as our point of origin, then this big toe is distal pelvic to the pelvis. It is away from the origin if our pelvis is the originating point. If our little fingers are the ones that we want to locate in relation to the shoulder blade, then, and our shoulder blade is the origin, then they are distal to this shoulder blade. Then towards the shoulder blade, we refer to that as proximal because it is our point of origin. Medial is the mid part, the middle part, medial. Lateral is towards the side away from the middle. So we can also divide body into right and left. So we refer to lateral right, lateral left, something like that. The directional terms we have the external, that is on the outer side of something. Then we have internal, the inside side of something. We have central, at the center of a particular body organ. The peripheral on the surface, that one means on the surface of a particular body organ. And then parietal, that is kind of the outer surface of particular body organ. And then the visceral is the inside surface of particular organ. But we usually use these two terms, parietal and visceral, in reference to the membranes that we are going to discuss. So we have the particular body cavity, which is a space in the body, and that space contains a particular body organ within that space. But the body organ in that space is kind of protected or lined by particular layers. So those layers, we may find there are usually two layers. So the layer that is inside towards the organ in the cavity, that layer we refer to is as the visceral membrane layer. Then the one that is the second layer that is outside, kind of covering this inner membrane, then that one we refer to is it as a parietal. So we usually use those terms in that way. Visceral and parietal. Visceral is the inside part of the membrane, two-layer membrane, and then parietal is the outside uh, part of that two-layer membrane, outside layer. That is it with directional terms we use to direct someone locating particular body areas. So now let's look at the body areas of the body. They are basically three. Have the head and neck area, have the trunk, we shall see that somewhere, and the shoulder blades here, and the collarbone towards the pelvic region. That is the trunk, and it is composed of the thorax, the chest region, the abdomen, and then the pelvis, the hip regions, chest region, the abdomen region, and then the hip region, so the pelvic region. That is the trunk. So that is the second area of the body. Then the other areas of the body have the extremities, the upper extremities, which are the arms. We also refer to them as upper limbs, and then the lower limbs or lower extremities, which are the legs. So those are the three major parts of the human body: head and neck region, trunk region, and extremities. We have upper extremities, the arms, and then the lower extremities, which are our legs. These are the areas we are talking about: the trunk around here, the collarbone and the shoulder blades, and then going towards the pelvic region. That is our trunk. Find it composed of the thorax, abdomen, and the pelvis. So that is the trunk, then head and the neck region, then these extremities, the lower ones which are the legs, and then the upper ones which are the arms. From the posterior view, the backside view of the body, still we can locate those extremities quite well in this anatomical position. The upper extremities and then the lower extremities. And that is part 2 of our introduction. Be blessed wherever you are and take care.